All right, friends, it's Tina Backman with another video on JasonBlaha again. Yeah, man, I can never get tired of this dude, bro. Uh, yeah, the gym fitness lifting slave here. Let's review this video. It's called "The Myth of the Weak Bodybuilder." Well, man, young people are not weak. Okay, this is just bullshit, man. It just means that somebody is not good at doing something. Does that mean a power lifter who can't do gymnastics, are they weak? Are they weak? Is a gymnastics person weak because he can't lift a heavy weight? What the power lifter is doing? Is the power lifter weak because he can't win at arm wrestling? See what I mean, man? All these modalities, what is weakness? What is really strength? What is truly strength? If a guy hits his leg against a post repeatedly, right? But a guy who lifts a heavy weight, whose leg is stronger? The guy who hit it against a post a million times, or the guy who lifts a heavy weight off the floor? I don't know. It's all relative, man. What type of strength you're trying to build. But you can build all-around strength by doing eccentrics because they cause, in a kind of undated, unaccustomed movement, because it causes micro tears in the bone and the muscle. And then they have to go through a repair and then a remodeling. Remodeling makes things stronger. Listen to this. If you break a bone remodels itself, right? Well, they tell you if you break a bone, that section of that bone that was broken is now stronger. Why is it stronger? Because it's been remodeled. That's why. So it's even harder to get it to bust a second time. So muscle damage is very difficult. Anyways, let's watch this video.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here. Today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about really this ludicrous idea that anyone has that a person who has a well-developed musculature is going to be weak. Usually this is the case of a few...
Okay, here's the thing, man. This whole well-developed musculature, again, there's two types of hypertrophy. There's myofibular and sarcoplasmic. The majority of people that have come into the gym, they get what you would call newbie gains. Okay? They get newbie gains. And then they stay there. They chronically lift. We know that it's attenuated. Muscle damage is attenuated with people that chronically associate themselves with lifting chronically in the gym. But we know that periodic lifting is associated with what? Muscle damage. It's kind of obvious, man. Unaccustomed. Chronic, you have periodic, unaccustomed. It's associated with DOMS, pain, and muscle damage. But anything chronic lifting is associated with wearing yourself out and aging yourself, accelerated aging. Okay? That's all. Now, the adaptations that you get as a chronic lifter are myocytic androgen receptors. It's a chemical strength, like a woman that is lifting a car off her child to protect him. She gets an influx of this chemical called adrenaline, and she can lift a 6,000-pound car. That is chemical strength. So you are relying on chemical strength and these receptors to lift something heavy off the floor. You understand me? You never built any myofibulars. Think about it. If a myofibular damages, it has to go through a remodeling. What is that remodeling again? Like a broken leg. It remodels it what? Stronger, right? Are you doing that? No. You're not doing any of that. Plus, you have to eat a lot.
Things going on. Maybe...
So are these bodybuilders stronger if they get sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, sarcoplasmic muscles? No, it's artificial muscle growth. So you may see a guy, he's lifting in the gym, eats shitloads of carbohydrates, and he got massive, really, really big eating carbs, coming in there, chasing the pump, like all these guys. I'm getting after the pump. Are they stronger? No, they are not stronger, but they may have some chemical strength, get it? Temporary chemical strength to lift something heavy. You understand me? But they physically are not stronger, so they're more susceptible to getting injured or crippled. They can get crippled or injured, okay? That's why. Now, a person who built myofibular and bone strength and myofibular strength, myofibulars and bone, now he's less susceptible to getting injured because he's going to be a lot stronger. I can't tell you how much he's lifting, if he's going to lift super heavy. Maybe he's not practicing at exorbitantly lifting the heaviest weight chemically, but he may rep out some heavy weight. He can rep out something that Sorry about that. I got cut off. So he may be able to rep out something exorbitantly a lot heavier. You understand me? In repetitions.
They've only really trained their show muscles and they haven't trained much else. That's usually the case. Or they could just be a person with a big frame and a lot of body fat who just isn't that strong because they still don't have that much muscle. Because we do need to be very, very clear on this. And I will point out that there is something that can create the illusion that that's not the case of the week.
Like I said, the majority of people that are going to the gym, they reached a myonuclear domain size limit, an MND size limit, okay? They're chronically lifting. They're not doing, they're not unaccustomed to these exercises anymore. They're accustomed. And so something comes in called repeated bout effect. They're accustomed now. They're chronically lifting. And the body adapts rapidly. And there's no more damage there. So you're not really building any more muscle. The damage of the influx of the donation of the nuclei are in the beginning when you first come into the gym. They only are associated with something unaccustomed that you're doing, that damage. Muscles will not get damaged if they're not, if they're familiar with something, they won't do it. If they're accustomed, they won't do it, and whatever. They have to be untrained, unaccustomed, and unfamiliar. Untrained, unaccustomed, and unfamiliar will get damage. But anything trained, chronic, familiar is not going to damage muscle fibers whatsoever. And it's always usually the eccentric exercise. So yeah, bodybuilders are pretty strong. The majority of them, those who build myofibrillar growth. But I can't tell you, sarcoplasmic is not going to make you strong.
Bodybuilder, but that's usually because that's how they're just choosing to train. They're doing a bunch of really light fluff work, and because they have phenomenal.
No, they're not. There's no bodybuilders that I know of online that are doing light fluff work. Everybody, including powerlifters and bodybuilders and whatever people are lifting in the gym, are all striving to lift heavy because in their mind they think, if I get a stronger, I'm going to get a bigger. And the truth is, you're never going to get a bigger by getting a stronger lift. By getting a stronger lift, you're never going to get bigger. How you get stronger is when you get bigger. When you get bigger myofibrillars, I'm not talking about sarcoplasmic big, gaining body weight big. I ate a bunch of cookies and I got big. I'm talking about if you get more myofibrillars, you getting bigger through myofibrillar growth, you are going to get stronger. And the more nuclei you get, they're associated with performance and strength. Oh yeah, big time. And I mean big time.
Genetics, and they're on a, again, an extremely potent cocktail of stuff. They get away with training that way, okay, and still getting big. And it doesn't mean that they aren't capable.
Okay, they should have got you.
Capable of producing elite lifts. So I want to be clear there.
Everybody's capable of producing elite lifts, but what is your goal exactly? Do you want to get chemical strength and get better at lifting? Do you want to get physically stronger so you could beat people at fucking arm wrestling? Like this Sangashvili guy? He's going to destroy everybody now? He's definitely got more myofibrillar growth. I'm not saying he's not carrying a lot of worthless weight there, but that weight helps him to maneuver a lot of this weight that he's carrying. But he's definitely got a lot of myofibrillar growth for sure. You understand me? For sure, he got new adaptations in myofibrillar growth for sure. He's definitely strong. And this repetitively damaging your arm, repetitively damaging, repairing, remodeling, damaging, repairing, and remodeling makes it super strong. That's why powerlifters and bodybuilders, when they try to arm wrestle these arm wrestlers, these bodybuilders and these powerlifters never repetitively damage their arm. I try to explain this. Look in my community section. There's a section down there. In the eccentric exercise now, it tells you muscle damage associated, DOMS, this, that, whatever. That it attenuates when you become a chronic lifter. So you're not repetitively damaging it like them going through repairing and modeling. Get it? And they're mostly focused on their arm area, not too much on the body area. So their arms are going to be super fucking strong. Super physiologically super strong. And I'm not talking about lifting a heavy weight. They will beat any power lifter who could lift even 1,000, 2,000 pounds off the floor. They will wreck their arms. That's why you get this little guy, looks at you, little skinny guy, but he's got a nice arm. And he's like, and then the bodybuilder looks all massive, or this power lifter, and he goes, look at this guy. And then all of a sudden the arm wrestler breaks his arm off, breaks the power lifter's arm, or breaks the stupid bodybuilder's arm off. Why is that? Because physically stronger, get it? You want to make yourself physically strong, or do you want to lift a heavy weight in the gym like this goof and be weak and skinny like him with a flat boob chest? See what I mean? You have to make up your mind. Look, I know people don't want to go through the repetitive read the thing in my comment section right now. I just posted it. DOMS, the eccentric exercise. It's associated with pain, and people when they get DOMS, they associate that with something bad. That pain has got to be something bad, so they don't focus in their mind, well, it's time to eat and grow. They just go, fuck it, I got this DOMS and I'm sore. How do I get over it? Michael Hearn, what do? Michael Hearn says, guess what? Work through the DOMS, work through the pain. Oh, isn't that a time of necrosis? Isn't that a time of apoptosis? Oh, if you work through it, you're going to lose those muscle fibers because they had been micro-injured. And so the dead tissue needs to come out and be cleaned up. So you'll kill them. They'll die because they'll never go through repair and remodeling. And then why am I shrinking again? Get it? Why am I shrinking again? All the time, shrinking. It's the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, artificial muscle growth. I'm shrinking. I'm losing muscle fibers. I'm shrinking. I'm losing mass. I'm shrinking. Proteins are being broken down, never building anything. Focus on getting bigger, eating, and then getting stronger by damaging muscle fibers in the gym. And it's also regenerative. It'll make you younger. It's regenerative.
So that is actually a misnomer, but we're going to get over to the real world examples more. But that's a misnomer. People will see, say, a professional bodybuilder who is, making it to the Mr. Olympia in the open, and they're like, oh, well, he's weak. Well, hopefully they mean weak for his size, because, he can barely incline bench 400 pounds. I would expect a guy that big to incline bench 600. Like, hopefully that's what you mean.
I would expect him. I have high expectations for these people. They have to bench press 600. That guy doesn't give a shit about you, Blaha. You understand me? He's doing what's best for him. Do what's fucking best for you, motherfucker. Do fucking what is best for you. That's why you look like a piece of shit. Nobody's subscribing to your channel because you're shit. You're garbage. You look ugly, man. You look terrible. You look aged. You look like a mush puppet. You look like Humpty Dumpty sitting there. Just fell down and needs all the king's men to put him back together again.
Because realistically, any one of those guys, people see Jay Cutler doing that rep work with 315 on the bench. But, you need to understand that.
What about 315 and rep work on a bench? 315 is a lot of weight for anybody.
If Jay Cutler spent a month learning to power lift in his prime, he probably...
Why does he need to learn how to power lift? He's a bodybuilder. He wants to, in his mind, he thinks he's damaging muscle fibers repetitively lifting these weights, when in fact he's not damaging anymore. He's just glycogen pumping. That's why he's like, well, I'm getting the pump. They disassociate everything from DOMS to the pump. If you are not getting DOMS, you are not damaging muscle fibers. If you're getting the pump, you're getting sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. I try to explain this. There are two types of hypertrophy, myofibrillar and there's sarcoplasmic, artificial muscle growth. Myofibrillar growth is associated with DOMS and pain, okay? And then sarcoplasmic is associated with the pump. And I can prove it. And even Sam Sulik said he got fucking pain DOMS in his chest last time when he worked out, because he didn't work out for a week and a half on his chest because he injured himself. And so he said, I got sore because that is DOMS, that is pain, that is muscle damage, like it says in community section, okay? And so sarcoplasmic is associated with glycogen. It's the pump, bro. And so they're all chasing the pump, the artificial muscle growth, because they don't want to go through the pain. They don't want to go through the pain, just like him. That's why no pain, here's the old saying, no pain, no gain. If you don't want to go through the pain, then there will be no gain. See, I had to go to the buffet and eat for over 4 hours straight and keep eating throughout the day. If there was no pain, there was not going to be any gain. You want to just eat your bagels and eat your Cocoa Puffs and cream puffs and whatever, and drink your cocktails, whatever, your protein shakes. No, there's no pain in that. There's too much pleasure there. And getting the pump coming into the gym, pumping yourself up is all pleasure. It is not painful. And therefore, no gain. Get it, friends? No gain. A zero. A zero.
Probably would have benched 600 pounds. Or at least been able to rep 500. So again, we need to be clear here when making those statements.
He's lifting this heavy weight off the floor because it gives him a high. He still gets a high out of lifting it. It's like a drug addict. They get high off drugs. He has a high off this. Get it? It's pleasure. So if it's pleasure, it's not associated with pain. No pain, no gain. Yeah, no pain, no gain.
The weak bodybuilder from that is kind of a myth, right? It's because they are choosing to
Shit, look at that old body.
train a light and they get away with it just due to the sheer volumes of what they're doing and everything else sometimes. But they are capable.
The sheer volumes are in their mind. They think they're damaging muscle fibers, but damaging muscle fibers is not associated with the pump. It is associated with DOMS and pain. You understand me? Muscle damage. And they're not getting that. They're not getting that, because if you were to get that every single day lifting in the gym, you'd get rhabdo and end up in a stupor, in a coma, in a hospital.
Of lifting large amounts of weight, particularly if they spent a few weeks learning how to do it. So setting
Muscle has to go through a repair and a remodeling. When you break your leg, what do you think, you're going to keep walking on a broken leg? No. When you're young, it takes 6 weeks to remodel, right? Right? Repair and remodel that broken bone. Yeah. You're not going to go back lifting on a broken bone the very next day, are you? You'd have to be insane to do that. You'd have to be retarded. So when you damage your bone and your muscle fibers lifting, let's say you're unaccustomed, you'd have to be retarded to go back to the gym the next day and fucking lift any weights. You're weakened now. You're in a weakened state because you're damaged. Get it? You're weakened. You're in pain. Got DOMS, bruising, inflammation, a bunch of stuff.
that aside, because that is a completely bit of a...
I know. He's getting damaged, all right, but it isn't the good damage he's getting. He's getting hypoxia and oxidative stress, corrosion. That's what he's getting. He's corroding. He's deteriorating. Listen, you're aging. You stopped aging at 25, so you're aging very slow, but you're deteriorating faster than you're aging. And so that deterioration will show in your physical look, like him.
A misnomer. And I think also people get confused with that when they see strongman competitors. Well, how come this guy, he's so not bigger than that bodybuilder, but that bodybuilder, lifts less, and then you realize when you put them next to each.
Why does he look bigger than that bodybuilder, but he lifts less or whatever? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. He's pumping more glycogen in his muscle. Are you doing that? Are you chasing the pump if you're powerlifting? No, because you're doing less reps. So you're not doing as much. You're not trying to load as much of this glycogen ATP source in the muscle to get these artificial muscles. But this guy's funny.
Other, it's because that really short 5'6" pro bodybuilder, the average guy at the Mr. Olympia is about 5'6", 5'7".
If those bodybuilders actually built the majority of their muscle was myofibrillar, believe me, they'd be super strong. You'd be super physically strong if you can increase your myofibrillar growth. A tiger will always be stronger than a lion because he's got 65% more muscle on his body than a lion does. I think a lion's like 50% and a tiger is 65%. So he's quite much more higher than the lion. And he's heavier than lions. Tigers are usually heavier than lions by over 100 or something pounds.
I've been in a room with them. You'd be shocked with some of these guys. They're shorter than you think they are. They're lying about their stats. I've been in a room with them. Every one of them were shorter than me, and I'm not that tall of a guy.
So why do they say lions are the king of the jungle, not the lion? Because bigger is always stronger. Yeah, man.
So you have that, and then you see them next to the really strong strength athlete, and you're like, oh, he's way bigger than the bodybuilder. Yeah. He's just not short with those proportions, all the extra side enhancement, and ripped and lean with those proportions. He is probably big.
Blaha is never going to get taller. Lifting these weights are never going to make him tall and big. He's always going to be a short, plumpy little man the rest of his life. This is, like I said, This is just like the Trent twins. These people, they're nuts, man. People look down, frown upon these people, these little people, thinking they're gonna lift the weight. It's gonna make them big. It's like Alpha Destiny. He's insane. It's the what do you call that? The Napoleon complex. All these people, these little people, have Napoleon complex. Look, I'm not trying to shit on people that are short. I'm simply making an observation that a lot of it, the short people, they're lifting these weights. In their mind, they're thinking, well, this is going to make me bigger or something, but in fact it's not going to. So they're compensating for their shortness by going to the gym and lifting weights, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
He probably has more muscle and a bigger frame, and more body fat. You'll see that and not realize that strength athlete is 400 pounds versus that contest bodybuilder who's 270.
What is 400? Power lifters 400 pounds. I don't know any that are 400 pounds other than some strong men, maybe one or two or three.
Trust me, they are not the same size. All right, but when you set that aside,
Blaha's under 200 pounds. He's like talking about 400-pound people. This is the mental illness in the brain. You see how the brain is thinking?
The rest is a misnomer. There are people who might look kind of big because they have a big frame, right?
They look kind of big because they have a big frame. They are big. What are you talking about? He's stupid.
They're carrying some extra fat, but they probably have a decent amount of muscle, but then they...
Whatever.
Body fat. But they still look really big. Okay, so you have that case, and they might be...
Yes, they do look big.
Obviously going to be stronger than the average person, right?
Average young people, usually, like if they're a mesomorph or considering how big their frame is, how big they are pretty strong, believe me. They're pretty strong out there. I can show you some people that don't go to gyms or anything, and they're pretty big and pretty strong, believe me. You'd be surprised. If anything, people that lift chronically in gyms are weak because it weakens you. The chronic lifting weakens you. Even muscle damage will weaken you. Of course it will. But over time, you'll get stronger. You'll overcome that because every time you come back and you're just damaging weaker. You're trying to damage weaker muscle fibers. You're not damaging the ones that already were damaged. They're already a lot stronger and resilient from being damaged. Again, with a repeated bout. That's why you're never getting damaged in the gym anymore. You have to try to damage the weaker muscle fibers. But you're not doing that because you're a chronic lifter and you're adapted.
You're going to be stronger than the average person, but a lot of times you'll see that guy at the gym, and he can only bench 225 for a couple of reps.
It's not because he can only bench 225 for a couple of reps, because he's lazy, and maybe that's what he wants to bench, and he doesn't want to exceed anymore. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to. He's not pushing it, okay? Who the fuck knows why they're doing what they're doing? I don't know why people are doing what they're doing.
Lift, maybe 315 for a couple of reps, because he's a gym noob still, right?
He's a gym noob? Why do you care what he's doing in the gym? Listen to me. When I go to a gym, I don't look at people and observe what the fuck they're doing. I don't really care. I see them. I'm so busy in my own world working out at the gym. I don't have time to care about what other people and why they're lifting. I can understand. I look around and I see them. I know they're not putting effort into it. I know what they're doing wrong, but I'm not going to go there and come up to them and explain to them, this is what you're doing wrong. This is how muscle's really built or anything. I don't want to explain anything to anybody. Okay, if anything, if I do that, I get in trouble in these gyms. If I talk to anybody, people get nuts the moment you have a real conversation with them. So there's no point in explaining anything. I don't tell people how to work out with machines. I simply try to reference stuff about building muscle, but I don't talk about any other thing like this is how you should train, or this is how you should do this, you should do that. I just say this is how muscle's built. There's two types of muscle, sarcoplasmic, myofibrillar, whatever. So yeah, man, I don't really tell people what to do, man. But like I said, you could get in trouble in gym explaining these things to people. So there's just no point.
Built a lot of muscle. All right, the other thing that you see is usually the guy who is just kind of the aesthetic guy who has lagging muscles. Okay, so you'll see the guy, and you're like, well,
he has lagging muscles, the aesthetic guy? He's not lagging in anything. He's doing what is best for him.
Looks good. He's got really great delts, and he's got great biceps.
This guy's weird. It's like comparing gymnasts with like calisthenics, with like bodybuilding, with like powerlifting, with like this, like that, like swimming and other sports and whatever the hell people are doing out there. There's no comparison. You can't compare. That the best is like, oh, it's a carryover. There's no carryover. The only carryover that you get in any sport is bodybuilding. And it usually happens in the beginning. It makes you stronger. You lift a bunch of weights, you get damaged, you were unaccustomed, and you get a repair and remodeling. And now your muscles and bones are slightly stronger. So now you can carry it over to any sport. Unless you're able to repeat that damage to get another level of strength, then other than that, if you can't do that, then there's just no point anymore. You understand me? And it will make you faster. Look, muscle damage is associated with strength, power, speed, and performance. Why is that? Because more myofibulars and nuclei. So strength, power, speed, and performance. Get it? Bigger, better, stronger, and faster. It is associated with that. That's why people will bodybuild, and then they'll carry it over to any sport. But powerlifting cannot be carried to any sport. People will make you try to convince you, but it doesn't work like that. I'm not saying you shouldn't powerlift, but it'll weaken you in your sport. It doesn't make you physiologically enhanced and stronger for that sport. It doesn't make you bigger, better, stronger, and faster. Strength. It's not associated with strength, power, speed, and performance. Okay, EIMD is.
And you step back and go, yeah, but you look at him and he's flat from the side. Like he looks good from the front because he's got the delts and the biceps. But then you look to the side and realize even though his chest is really ripped, he doesn't have a lot of pec. He doesn't have a lot of back. And let's be honest here. How many big lifts do big delts and biceps really help you with? I mean, to some extent they help some. Obviously the big delts can help with the benching. But if he has no pecs.
Your coach is extremely physically weak. If he was to play football, they'd fucking destroy his body. If he was to run, he'd fall and smash and break his teeth. If he was to throw a football, he wouldn't be able to. Play basketball, people would out-basketball him. If he was to swim, they'd out-swim him. In any sport, I guarantee you, he'd be beat. Even rugby. They just crush him in rugby. Fuck it, man. They step on your coach. They don't care how much he can lift off the floor, this chemical strength. They're more into physical strength. And if you want to get physically stronger, you got to get that damage, bro. And if you ain't damaging, you ain't getting physically stronger. I don't care who you are.
And he has no real lats. His lats might look okay if he's really lean with a
Yes, he's so concerned about his lats and lean.
really tight waistline, but the guy looks jacked. How could he be that weak?
He looks jacked. How could he be that weak? Oh, yes.
I mean, even when I wasn't looking good, wasn't doing.
Sarcoplasmic makes you jacked. How could you be that weak? I don't know. Physically weak or to lift something heavy weak? You're weak because you'd get crushed in any of these sports.
Bodybuilding training, you guys have seen me do that for like 10 reps.
You know what those sports people would say about you out in rugby? They go, a guy who could lift such heavy weight, why is he so weak? We're destroying him and smashing his body. He's falling down. Why is Blaha so weak?
Without straps, right?
Yeah.
But I have glutes.
Whatever.
They may not be as big as you think they are in terms of actual muscle tissue on
You know, it's funny for a coach, he knows nothing about bodybuilding, powerlifting, or anything, any modality surrounding like muscle and growth.
their frame. Okay? They may not be as big as you're thinking they are. Good angles, lighting, proportions. But they're not really that big. And then
Yeah, because now they're performing on a stage. Their performance is based on stage performance. Your performance is based on you want to lift something heavy off the floor. I don't know.
they have glaring muscle weaknesses. Maybe
No, they don't.
quite a bit. But really,
The only time they do light weight is when they're trying to get ripped. Most of the time, and even then they're lifting heavy. Fuck. That's why they're getting injured now because it's stupid.
what does the research show? What does the biomechanics show? Really, the glutes and the hamstrings are going to determine most of your deadlift max, right? And of course, leverage is just the most leverage-oriented lift, right? Maybe they built their quads off mostly leg extensions, and maybe,
Okay.
surprisingly enough, a lot of those really aesthetic guys do have pretty decent squats. More often than not,
They do have decent squats. Aesthetic people. Everybody does, man. This guy's crazy.
it doesn't mean they're amazing squatters, but most of them are squatting at least.
They're all.
And again, but we need to make that distinction. There's a difference between what the guy is doing for pump work in the gym for some of his hypertrophy.
I love this pump work stuff, man. It's sarcoplasmic, bro.
versus if the guy is actually trying to lift a big weight, right? Even on the works.
No, really? If he's trying to lift a heavy weight, oh Christ.
Okay, so keep that in mind. There's a context for that. A lot of those guys, again, you'll see some of those guys. You're like, oh, is he lifting that little silly weight? But then you do realize the guy can rep 3 plates on the bench for rep work. You know, be surprised. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today.
All right, friends, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I'll see you in the next one. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends. Some more ridiculous stuff, bro. This was ridiculous. Yeah, the myth of the weak bodybuilder. There's nobody weak out there. There's just people that are not trained in that particular thing, whatever they're doing. They're not weak. Young people are not weak, but old people, when they get really old, people associate age with weakness. But when people see young people, they associate young with strength. Young is strong, and old is associated with weakness. And he's old, and he's weak. See you in the next one. Ciao.